Welcome to the Bookers Alliance podcast, where we hold the pencil and the pencil is power. Coming at you right now is your host, Marky Mark, along with the man, the myth, the legend, Frank Donaldson. Join us as we discuss the ever-changing landscape of professional wrestling. So hang on tight, you jabronis, and enjoy the ride. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining today's episode of the Bookers Alliance podcast. Come on inside the house, bring yourself up your ringside seat, get your soda, your popcorn, your whiskey, get everything you need, because your boys are jet lagged. We done flew halfway around the world and halfway back.
Yeah, it's been a busy week here. I have a lot going on here. We're waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning for what they call 8 o'clock at night, and trying to be fully energetic and trying to, quote unquote, be journalists and all that good stuff at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's ass.
Yeah,
not a fan.
So we got a pancake SmackDown, a pancake PLE, and a pancake Raw.
Yeah, they kicked our butts this weekend. 5 o'clock in the morning, pre-shows and all that. It's been a long weekend.
Yeah, that's a rough stint. That's a rough stint. WWE, keep these Australian ones to a minimum, please.
Yeah, we need to space those out every 3 or 4 years. We can't. Although it did help for Monday Night Football because we were home in time to watch the games on Monday, so that was always fun.
Yeah, we ain't speaking about football this week.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to talk about football because apparently the Carolina Panthers are for real now.
Yeah, my Cowboys.
And a mighty 3-3.
My Cowboys are doing the Cowboys things. We just living it up.
Well, y'all just a little under 500, so
just
I mean
a little
that's cool.
Under 500.
Yeah.
If we finish 500, I'll be okay with that.
Well, there you go. So there's 17 games, so there's no chance you'll finish 500. You're either going to be over or under.
No, with that tie, we might finish 500.
That's true. You guys got a tie.
That's right. We might finish 500.
Good Lord. Who'd you tie with again?
Green Bay.
Wow. Green Bay.
Green Bay. All right, so let's before we get to starting our topic here of the Rollins Effect, let's get to our sponsor real quick. We got Hennessy, very special.
Oh yeah,
very special cognac. Looks like a logo on there. What am I saying?
Yeah, a little NBA logo there. Get a little basketball time there. It's the NBA's getting ready to start real soon. The start of the season's coming. They're doing the whole preseason thing now and all. So I thought it'd be appropriate to welcome in the NBA with a little Hennessy.
Welcome to the NBA.
All right.
Good old Hennessy.
There you go. You're looking a little light over there in the glass there, sir. What's going on here?
Well, as we get older, sir, things must change.
All right.
Things must change.
Going on the health kick out there, fans. So I need you guys to give support to Marky Mark. He's taking his health in his hands.
Please.
Absolutely. He's taking his health in his hands, and he's going to take control of it. I'm going to sit here and watch it happen.
Hey, throw me some love, throw me some encouragement, reach out on them socials,
throw
me anything you got.
Throw some cookies.
Your boy, no cookies. no cookies. Although cookies would be nice right now. But I digress. All right. First off, we got to talk about Crown Jewel. Let's talk about this.
Crown Royal?
Royal.
We're having Hennessy this week, sir. Crown Royal was a couple weeks ago.
Crown Jewel. So first off, yeah, we kind of shit on it last week.
Yeah, it did. I mean, the matches had promise, but we've come to the point where we don't expect enough out of WWE anymore.
Apparently not.
Neither did ESPN. I mean, apparently they didn't even like the event, so they liked it a little more than WrestlePalooza, which I was like, well, damn. If that's the barometer you use in hell, this should have been a home run. But
however, I will say that this might be in my top 5 PLEs of the year.
Oh, this year, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, it really did good. So let's recap a little bit. Let's talk about the match that kicked off the show. Our tribal chief.
Oh yeah,
acknowledge the tribal chief.
Absolutely.
Bronson Reed. Big Bronson Reed.
Yeah, we remember when we thought that was just a joke and we hated the whole big thing. All of a sudden, that seemed to have took. And man, did he ever do that match in a big way? Yeah, he got a big W out of it too. How many times did they say there's only been one person to pin Roman Reigns clean, shoulders down to the mat in 5 years.
And who was that person?
That was Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, they messed up.
Yeah, they definitely did. We could have not had that happen.
No. I'm not talking about Cody pinning him. I'm talking about there's somebody else that pinned him clean too, but it wasn't in a singles match.
Yeah. Well, that was I mean, Jey Uso got it clean. Yeah, but that was in tag. But they were saying 1-on-1, mano a mano.
Okay, all right.
But giving that rub to Bronson Reed, I mean, hey, we asked for this for 8 months, so I mean, it's about damn time to cash in.
They even gave him the moniker of the Tribal Chief at one point.
Yeah. I mean, then he was the Tribal Thief. Now he's whatever he's going to be now. It'll be real interesting to see.
Big Tribal Chief, Bronson Reed. I like that one.
But I was glad to see him get the W because, I mean, hey, we've been saying push these guys, find your young talent and make them stars,
Exactly.
So giving somebody a pin over Roman, that's how you make a star.
It was an Australian street fight. Could have been a New Jersey street fight, California street fight. It was a street fight.
Right. We could have went anywhere. They do that everywhere they go. Yep. Anywhere they go that's got like a hood, they're like, oh, we'll give you a street fight.
So you knew you were going to get some extracurricular activities. Of course, Breaker was going to come down.
100%.
100% he was coming down. So he came down, caused some interference, caused Jimmy and Jay to come out to try to help
Against
Roman.
orders.
Against orders. Because Roman said, y'all need to stay in the back. I need to show everybody I can do this on my own.
Yeah,
that didn't happen. They came out, caused chaos, thought they were helping, and ultimately wound up causing him the match.
Yeah. Well, to a point, right? They didn't help. They didn't help the situation, but if Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker had stayed out there together and Roman fought him off by himself, he was going to lose the match.
He was going to lose
right?
the match. Anyway, True.
I mean, he could be mad at him because that's a great storyline. But, yeah, right. He was losing either way. So he just lost, and now we get to further a different storyline.
He told their ass, I love y'all, but I don't want to see y'all till Christmas.
I ain't mad at that. Sometimes you get around family and you be like, damn, see y'all next year.
He don't want to even have Thanksgiving. He just skip Thanksgiving. Ain't even going to trick or treat with him. It's just going to Christmas.
He probably go Thanksgiving with The Rock. I mean, because The Rock definitely need to have a couple turkey legs this year. Apparently he's on whatever you're going on. Because hell, Rock dropped 50 in about a month. So I mean, hell, there's that.
Yeah, we had to see what's going on with that. But the storyline is now swirling with Roman and Jimmy and Jay. The conversation happened after the match. Where this is going to go, who knows? We all kind of thought it was leading up to a War Games match.
Can't see Roman in a War Games with the Usos right now.
He told him they didn't want to see him to Christmas.
That's what I mean. I can't see Roman in War Games, period. I don't think we're going to see Roman to Christmas. So
Then we got to go to Tiffany versus Stephanie, which, apologies, ladies, you went out there and put on a hell of a match.
So we asked for that, though. I mean, we specifically said, hey, y'all are in a bad position in this PLE. This isn't going to be a focused match for you guys. You're kind of just there. And we said, hey, y'all should go out there and steal this show. Go out there and take what you want. And damned if they didn't do that. They went out there and took their place on the roster and said, you know what? You can look at us as second rate or whatever, but hell, we're here to stay and we're here to play.
Fantastic job by both ladies. Stephanie Vaquer has the rocket strapped to her back.
Where's it strapped?
It's strapped to her back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we won't PG, sir. PG. Okay. We gotta keep it PG.
Just checking.
Yeah, we gotta keep it PG.
Because I'm like, when we start talking about this particular match, I saw Stephanie walk out there. I saw Tiffany walk out there. All of a sudden, my rocket was strapped. So I was like, well, let's get ready to go here, fellas. Let's settle in because this is about to be a good damn match at 8:00 in the morning.
It was definitely a physical match. Saw both of them take to each other really good. Stephanie coming off the top rope again with, what was it called? A spiral tap.
Yeah.
So she come off again with that. Landed
immediately after the most beautiful moonsault ever missed. I mean, what a sequence of events. For Tiffany to miss her finish, Stephanie to immediately go into her finish and win the match with it. I'm like, holy hell.
But Stephanie, though, landing a little rough on Tiffany. You could
kind of
knock the wind out.
Had she not landed there, she probably wouldn't have got the pin.
That's true.
We'd still be wrestling, which
true.
I wouldn't be complaining. I mean, I wouldn't mind watching them two girls go again. They look good in the ring, and they look good doing it in the ring. So, hey.
What a ride that Stephanie Vaquer has been on and continues to be on. And look, kudos to her. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. So I think we predicted it last week that she was going to win, and they were going to do like her and Seth, as your new Crown Royal champions or whatever. I think we went along with that. Yeah, all I'm thinking about is Crown Royal now. It's on the brain.
I love it.
Our sponsor's probably pissed. Like, why are you advertising for
Crown Royal?
But but nonetheless, we figured she was going to be wearing the ring. Seth was going to be wearing the ring, but the way they got there, it made it not just passe. It wasn't just a match that needed to happen, because they made it into a match that you were invested in by the end.
So speaking about investing into a match, I was not invested in this next match. There was no story to this next match. I knew it was going to be a great match because of the competitors, but there was nothing there saying this is a can't miss, must see event.
That's so wrong. There were two people there that made sure that it was a can't see, can or must not miss event. And that was your two participants.
But good Lord, John Cena, AJ Styles, in a love letter to professional wrestling, could be the match of the year, could be the match of the decade.
I told you.
Man.
When you said there was no story, I was like, look, the show that they're going to put on is going to make you buy in. I told you before that. I was like, you'll be bought in before that match is over. I promise. And you were like, I don't know. And I said, just wait.
So I'm watching AJ come to the ring. He pops out in his 2005 TNA gear.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
back to the shorts.
I'm like, that's cool.
Wow.
Like, okay.
Yeah, we're in full throwback mode.
John comes out doing the John Cena things, gets the John Cena entrance, gets the John Cena announcers special, and then all of a sudden hands a piece of paper to Alicia.
Yeah.
And Alicia starts to read.
I was also wondering, I'm like, what are we doing right now?
Oh my God. But he gave AJ Styles a John Cena type of an announcement entrance, which was amazing. Go ahead and call it phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, and he gave genuine comments on it. It wasn't like it was something that you could tell it wasn't something a writer wrote up in the back, right? You could tell this is something that John had thought about and invested in.
Mentioning TNA, mentioning the Bullet Club, mentioning the face that runs the place, just everything.
And ending it off with one more chance to beat up John Cena. Because, I mean, that was AJ's gimmick for like a year. It's like, I'm the guy that beat up John Cena and sent him back to Hollywood. That was his thing. I mean, that's kind of what put AJ on. He was the World Heavyweight Champion, the WWE Champion, and that was his claim to fame. I'm now the face that runs this place, and I'm the guy that beat up John Cena. So to get a chance to beat up John Cena one more time, I mean, you could see both guys were invested in it. You could see both guys knew the magnitude of it, and they both lived up to it.
There was so many tribute spots in this match. You can't name them all, but what I really paid attention to was John's tributes were to WWE wrestlers of the past versus AJ's tributes were of TNA wrestlers in the past.
All of his friends. I mean,
it was amazing to watch. Didn't want it to end.
Now, again, much like the match prior to, they could still be going and I'd still be watching.
I mean, it truly was a match deserving of the Fight Forever chant.
Yeah.
Like, please, just fight. This is amazing.
It's sad that, especially when AJ said he's done next year and John's obviously done at the end of this year, it's sad to know after today after that match, we'll never get to see those two go again. It's also sad to know coming up soon, we'll never see those two wrestle again. But we never say never in WWE, so I'm holding strong on that.
Come on, Saudi.
Absolutely. A little bit of money goes a long way with everybody.
So the spot of the match, though, we'll get a little sappy for a minute. The spot of the match was where John pulled out the Sister Abigail and lands it beautifully on AJ, harder than anybody has probably thrown it since Bray.
Yeah, absolutely.
John finally spins around on the ring, trying to get up, and he looks around, and the crowd is doing a Firefly tribute.
Yeah, and
it caught John just like it caught the rest of the wrestling universe. All of us had a brief moment where we had a tear in our eye. I mean, it was just.
At that moment, I felt like you could feel Bray's spirit in that arena at that moment. And I feel like everybody felt it. Because one person somewhere had to think, oh my God, that was Sister Abigail throw up the firefly, you know, and it only takes one to make a movement. But before you know it, that entire arena in Australia was lit up. I mean, completely lit up.
It was beautiful. Caught John off guard. John gasped. You could see him choke back tears. I mean, it was an amazing tribute by John and by the fans. It was an amazing tribute.
An awesome job for AJ to see it and just lay out.
Instead
of getting up and getting back into where they were, whatever spot they were working into next. He realized it. He looked at John and realized what was happening. And he just kind of rolled over and said, you know what? Got to let this soak in. Got to let this happen.
But I mean, the other tributes that got thrown in there, and then for the crowd to start chanting 619, and they teased it. I was like, they stopped their whole match in that moment and decided somehow we
got to work it in.
Of course, wrestlers. Now, John is known for doing John Cena calling spots in the ring. I didn't see John call that spot.
No, I
don't know how they've worked that.
Remember not too long ago when AJ wrestled Dom and AJ kind of did the Rey Mysterio tributes in that match. It isn't like he wasn't accustomed to what he was doing. It isn't like he went into it blind, like, you know, I don't know what to do. He knows how to work those particular spots in, but you know, he had to work with John, and that ain't John's forte, right?
And I think
Rey Mysterio style damn sure ain't what John's known for.
No, and I think AJ kind of took the bump into the rope, and then John played into it, and they both ad-libbed that spot, which again shows the greatness of both of those guys.
Yeah, both of them know to listen, and they're experts. They're masters of their craft. I mean, hey, the fans are calling for it. We've done everything else. We've already worked all the spots we intended to work on. I mean, hell, we had a draping DDT and an RKO from Johnson. Funkiest RKO I've ever seen. But I mean, hey, it worked.
It worked. And then for John to hit the tombstone pile driver on AJ, which AJ was the one to quote unquote retire The Undertaker. So for John to hit the tombstone on AJ and then to spin him around into the AA, beautiful ending of a beautiful match by two beautiful wrestlers. It was amazing. I loved every bit of that. And honestly, that might be a match that I probably will go back through the WWE PLE playbook and watch it just to watch it again. Just amazing.
I believe that'll be replayed a lot through the years too. I think we'll see that come up a lot in history. So being able to say, hey, I was there to see it, you know, when it happened, that's always a good thing.
And damn, Bianca, Io, and Rhea, you had my vote for match of the year for your match at WrestleMania. But I think John and AJ just stole your thunder.
Yeah, they went a long way past, you know, what the other talents could just produce. I mean, the other talents didn't have a chance when you got two guys with that much. I mean, you've got 50 years worth of wrestling history, you know, under their belts between the two of them. When you got all that, and you know, and then both of them really know how to tell stories. I mean, AJ could do all the work if need be. John only had to do, you know, the most minimal amount of work, because AJ may be tired and ready to go home, but that don't mean AJ's skill level isn't where it always was.
And I actually told this to my wife. We were watching the match, and I told her, I was like, you know, it's sad that the body quits on these wrestlers before their mind, because these guys can go, they want to go, and it's just, you just want to see them go as a fan, but ultimately Father Time wins every match.
I mean, hell, we know just like the rest. I mean, you know, we watch this stuff and still think, man, we could get in there, and no, we couldn't get in there.
We could get in there, do we? I couldn't lace their boots.
Absolutely, there's nothing we could get in there. But like you said, the mind is like, man, if I could go in there and wrestle a match just in my head, hell, I'm 18, 19, 20-time world champion in my head, but hell, in real life, no way.
All right, let's talk about the Kairi, Asuka, Rhea, Io tag match. We got to talk about this real quick. Rhea being hometown, you kind of knew Rhea and Io was going to go over. The dynamic, though, that's happening between Asuka and Kairi. There is something special.
I think that's the big part of where that story's going is how their breakup's going to actually work its way out. I get it when now, of course, we can't speed it along because of what we had to do on Monday night, you know.
Right.
So we have to let it simmer a little bit longer. And I know there's a lot of fans out there that are listening. They're like, we're sick of shit simmering. We're ready to see it explode. No, you got to let some stuff cook so other stuff can boil over, right? So they're not ready to boil over yet. You got to give them time. But where it ends up seems like it's going to be a whole lot of fun.
So you can't just sit and expect to eat a 5-course meal, Michelin star meal, and expect it to be, at your dinner, at your ready, whenever you snap your fingers. It don't happen that way. Got to let it cook. Right now, some of this stuff is cooking. It's simmering. We got to let it go until it gets to the right point to where it pops off the oven and goes, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
But we did see a dinner rushed though come Monday, but we'll talk about that in a minute here. So that's really all I got to say about the tag match. It was a good match.
Yeah, it served its purpose.
Let's go on to Cody versus Seth. And this is where the tables have turned a little bit in this match.
So were you really that interested in it going into it?
I was, just for the fact that they were building it as what happens if Seth loses.
Yeah, they tried to build that. Yeah.
And what happens if he becomes known as the guy that can't beat Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, they tried to do that too.
They tried to do that.
I think if anybody who listened to our show last week knew I was pretty well set in my ways of thinking of there ain't no way in hell Seth loses.
He couldn't lose. I mean, there was no way.
I mean, and the upside of this match, same with Tiffany, right? Because, they went on the whole she hasn't lost in the year and that, whatnot. This match worked in both ways for that because there was no real consequence to the other person for losing.
Right.
Now, it didn't like the world title was on the line. It didn't like they had to lose, something like a step in their actual storylines to get through a loss. So it was good that both of them could pick up a loss in a safe and protected way.
Now, I did appreciate, though, some of the small nuance to the story that was told in the match, especially with the watch. I do appreciate that. They tried to kind of fill in some holes there and add to what was going on with that watch. He attempted to use it. He backed out of it, ultimately used it in the end to win the match.
Yep.
So, again, I mean, technically, he didn't win without the aid of something else. He didn't technically do
Seth
it. Seth
never wins without the aid of something else, so that's okay. But, I mean, part of the nuance I enjoyed the most was the coast-to-coast. Apparently that did a whole lot for our interest level here. And
that was this is the Rollins Effect. That was the domino at the start that caused a chain of reaction that I don't think we're out of yet.
No, I don't even think the second domino has fallen yet. I think we got one inkling of it, but that inkling was enough to get everybody turned back in like, wait a minute. Hold on, what are we doing now? So let's talk about it.
All right, so this coast-to-coast move, first off, it wasn't an RVD coast-to-coast.
It wasn't even a Shane McMahon coast-to-coast. No. I don't know what the hell. I don't even know why he did it. Out of all the things.
It was almost like him and Cody had a moment in planning this match, and Cody said, dude, it'd be cool if you could do the coast-to-coast. You think you do it? And Rollins just goes, Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they didn't run through it. They didn't because I mean, so RVD, Shane McMahon, everybody else that's done it usually does like the drop kick.
Yep.
So you go that way, you take a flat back bump.
Yep.
It's protected. You go down. For whatever reason or another, Seth thought a headbutt was the way to go with that. And of course, instead of doing the old Chris, when I got to mention the whole thing, but the Chad Gable headbutt, where you do the whole starfish and you spread all the way out and you take basically a flat chest bump with a headbutt. Seth got halfway across the ring and realized he wanted to take a flat chest bump.
He turned.
Yeah, and he thought, wait a minute, hell, I got to block some of this. Otherwise, I'm going to knock the wind out of myself.
Yep.
Well, he knocked the wind out of himself. He also knocked his femur out.
Yeah, it's sad that happened. But
is it?
Here's the funny thing. You've got people looking at this and legitimately going, is he really hurt?
Yeah, because of what just happened.
And so as a wrestling fan, again, you start getting lulled into is it a ruse?
Yeah.
Are we back in this?
Yeah, the conspiracy theory lives on.
CM Punk had, he was going for the #1 contendership.
Does he want to duck CM
Want
Punk?
to duck CM Punk? Is he ducking somebody else?
Yeah,
we just don't know yet. Is he ducking Roman? We don't know. Unfortunately, I think it's legit this time.
Yeah. I watched that particular spot back because it's been all over social media ever since it happened. Because most people take it to that point. And I mean, let's put it like this: if Seth didn't injure himself on that move, he is the best seller, that I could think of since God knows when. Because I mean, the minute he went for the headbutt, you saw him put his forearm down to catch himself. You immediately saw him cuff that forearm and put it right in between his legs because he knew something bad had happened there.
Now, had it been fake, he would have probably acknowledged the bump more.
Yeah.
Called for like a ref type of a conference.
Yeah, he'd have sold it more.
Cody would have rolled out of the way, and
the fact that he didn't sell it, the fact that he tried to just play it off.
But how it could have also went if he was trying to get a ruse again would have been, hey, I'm hurt, Cody backing off. Cody being told by the ref, hey, let's go home, go for the finish.
Right.
And then Cody not falling for it this time.
Yeah. Instead of getting some kind of roll
up or something and pinning.
Like that.
So I could see that happening. But the fact that Seth gutted it out, you could tell he was holding his arm. Yeah. Unless that dude's just a phenomenal actor.
That's why I said if he's selling this, then I mean he's the best seller that there's nobody else I could think of that will be on that level.
He's selling more than Dusty at this point.
Exactly. Because he went through with the planned finish. That watch was the planned finish.
Yep,
right?
it was.
There was no way around that because of how it went down.
Correct.
Otherwise, why would he even wear the watch to the ring?
Correct.
Right? So you knew as soon as he took the glove off and you saw the jacket off and you saw the watch on there, I'm like, oh, that'll be factored into the match at some point in time. After the injury, though, like you said, if they were selling the injury, they would have just went home. It would have been like a whole. But you can tell. I mean, and we know good and well, especially after WrestleMania 40, that Seth is gonna push through to get the business that they need to get done.
Seth was in there at WrestleMania 40 with his leg just barely hanging on.
I mean, and that was in the match you wrestled. Hell, the next night when he had to come out and be quote unquote Cody Shield, I'm like, I don't know what he's shielding because hell, one leg is dragging ass out there.
Can't even stand.
That's why I said he drug one leg out there, and I mean, but even in that, he still found a way to bend over and take that chair shot that Roman was going to deliver because that was the business that they needed to get done. And he found a way to get that done, even though it was to his detriment. Same difference with the watch. If he was really injured, it seems like they would have, or if he wasn't really injured, it seems like they would have played into it more. They would have leaned into it more. They would have showcased it more. But the fact that he didn't do any of that and they just kind of pretended like nothing happened and just worked the match through the normal progression leads me to believe that that's a legit injury. And especially what happened Monday shows that they needed to get him away for a little while, convalesce and kind of, be upset and blah, 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 and heal up.
Let's talk about what happened Monday. Let's talk about it.
All right.
Seth comes out there with the vision, blabbing his mouth about how he did it on his own and how he really don't need the men that's in the ring.
Yeah, he just chose them. He's helping them out. They're not helping him out. Some of that.
Going over there and padding, Braun's ego and then, with Braun Breaker asking him to do the little tweak. And I'm like, something's afoot.
Yeah.
Something's up. Not to mention, everybody was looking for an inkling of, is he really hurt? And the only inkling you got was the outfit he was wearing.
Yeah, I mean, it was so big and baggy. Like, so if there was any,
brace or anything.
Any kind of brace. I know there was a picture of him in a sling from the day before that a fan took.
Right.
If any of that was existing, they found a perfect way to cover it up. Because I mean, he had. I don't know, the seamstress must have worked all damn night to create that jacket because, I mean, hell, that jacket was like the Grinch's heart. It was like 6 times too small when it started. It ended up being 10 times too damn big when he wore it out there.
So, I mean, all of this stuff that he's talking about and yakking about in the ring, okay, it's Seth. It's a 20-minute intro, Seth freaking Rollins intro. Of course, we're going to get something like this. And then, the backstage segments throughout the night. With the Bronze and Seth being back there, you kind of could just tell. Yeah, that you knew something was coming. Seth had a key line in there. It was a key line in the backstage segment. As soon as I heard it, I'm like, oh, what's good? What are we getting? Because he said something along the lines of, not one single man can ruin this night for me. It's the best night of my career. And I thought that meant CM Punk.
Hell, I thought it meant Roman. I was like, bring out Roman, because nobody can ruin somebody else's, fervor than Roman Reigns.
Agreed, but CM Punk won the number one contendership.
Yeah.
So I thought, it was going to be Punk, to kind of ruin.
So I knew Punk was wrestling, right? I knew he had the match with the 3-way match. So I'm like, he's going to be. But the only person that didn't have anything coming out of Crown Jewel was Roman.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll tell you, so I'll jump ahead a little bit. We can backtrack as needed. But when the credits ran, I'm literally sitting there with my one up, because I'm like, I know Roman's music is hitting.
I thought you were going to hear.
The credits were rolling. It said, executive producers, Paul Levesque. I legit had my one up in the room watching, because I'm like, no way they're good. And then they rolled CM Punk out of the ring like disrespectful and all. No, and Jay took an ass whooping down there too. I'm like, no way Roman's not coming. And I'm geared up. I'm like, they're gonna start the Roman feud right now, because I'm already like, hey, Seth's probably gonna be injured. He's probably why not let Roman come out there and have him stretchered out the way they did Roman.
Right.
I'm sitting there with my one up, and I'm like, Roman's gonna come out there and spear him, and it's gonna be wonderful. And that ain't the spear I got.
We got a spear.
But damned if it wasn't wonderful what I saw.
It wasn't the Tribal Chief spear.
No, that wasn't the spear I got. But damned if it wasn't a wonderful spear nonetheless.
So we got a double cross of the Vision. We had Braun Breaker going for the spear onto Seth. Then he pops up and he looks at Bronson Reed. And he basically told Bronson, hey, you're either with me or you're with him. Mm-hmm. And you make a decision now.
Bronson had a choice to make.
And sure enough, damned if he didn't drag Seth's ass over to that corner and tsunami.
Dropped the big bomb on him.
Dropped it on him. Paul looking all shocked over there, disheveled, not knowing what to do, not knowing what to say, not knowing who to back. And then I be damn if Paul Heyman don't raise their hands and then just give Seth this mean ass like, bitch, please look.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, they all turned on Seth.
Yeah. I mean, so what's wild is when you look back at it. So think back before the injury, the prior Raw the week before and things like that. At the pay-per-view, the conversations that were had before the match.
Right.
You could see they were starting to sprinkle the little dust in there.
Seeds.
Like, okay, here we go.
Yep.
We're going to start putting a little bit of doubt in your mind, so that way when it happens, you'll be prepared for it. Well, hell, that shit had to spring up overnight, because they, after the little seed they planted, that damn thing must have been Jack and the Beanstalk in there, because that beanstalk was 100 feet tall the next day. So we were full in effect.
This was the first domino. This is the Rollins effect. So this chain of events, him getting hurt by doing the coast to coast, caused the Vision to turn on him, because nobody knows how long he's going to be out. Yeah. Not to mention, he's wearing the damn World Heavyweight Championship.
Well, so legitimately he's not, right? Because Braun Breaker carried that championship out of the ring.
Carried it out.
And Seth was left holding nothing. So I don't know what's going to happen the next time we see those guys on TV.
I kind of see Paul bringing both of those guys out to the ring. Maybe Breaker is still holding the World Heavyweight Championship.
I definitely don't see him just handing it back over in the back.
No, but I do see Pierce probably coming out and taking it and saying, if you want that, you're going to have to earn it.
Now, they'll fix it up, but he wasn't if he wasn't intent to come back out with it, or if he wasn't intent for them to get pictures of him with it, get the visual in people's minds so they can start getting comfortable with it, he would have threw it on top of Seth and wandered off as they were leaving. He intentionally took that belt with him after he held it up for the cameras, and I think we'll see him hold that belt again, at least on one more Raw.
So the rumor was that it was supposed to be Rollins and the Vision with Brock and Austin Theory as a team in War Games. Austin Theory, yep.
What are we doing?
Austin Theory is set to return.
God, thank God, Seth. Thank you, Seth. Look at the Rollins effect, because that has to stop that. So thank goodness.
So that was the rumor, that they were supposed to be a team in War Games, and then Roman was supposed to champion a team in War Games. And of course, Seth versus Roman was supposed to build, again, with Punk being circling the mix since he's the number one contender, yada, yada, yada. I think ultimately what would have happened was Roman probably would have went over, won the championship, and you would have been looking at maybe Punk Roman at WrestleMania. I think maybe you would have been looking at that. But nonetheless, here's what I think's going to happen. I think, and I don't know how much of a booking trail we would go down to see this happen. I think.
Well, there's next week's show. So write that down, producer. There's next week's show.
I think you could potentially come up with still doing that War Games type thing, but maybe having a leader. Maybe this leader, if their team wins, that leader becomes world heavyweight champion. You know, one person finds 4 guys to back his cause. Another person finds 4 other guys to back his cause. And then they fight for the winner to be the champion. I mean, people used to fight for king back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what if we go down this route? What if we go down this route, Braun Breaker champions a team? Brock Lesnar is on that team. What if Braun Breaker wins that match with his team and becomes world heavyweight champion? And then my friend over here across the podcast table from me had a nice suggestion. What if Paul Heyman turns on the Vision for an old adversary, Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
And then you get Brock Lesnar versus Braun Breaker for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania.
Now, there's money in that. There's a lot of money in that.
There's money in that.
And there were already rumors swirling that those two are going to mix it up at Mania anyway. If you include the world title in there, hey, you're not gonna lose anybody from doing that. The problem I see with that is I'm not ready for Braun Breaker to go over Brock Lesnar, but I don't necessarily want Braun Breaker to lose to Brock Lesnar.
No, if you're gonna push him, you got to push him.
So that's the thing. If you're including the world title in it, now you've done something different.
Right.
When it was just a match, if Braun Breaker loses, hell, he was supposed to lose. It is what it is, right? That's the way it was supposed to go, and business took care of itself. But if you put the world title in there, one of two things happens. Either Brock gets the world title, and then, hell, we never see it again. So there's that. And, I mean, Cena already threatened to take the other title on the other channel. Well, hell, Brock legitimately can take this title and go away with it because, one, who the hell is going to bring him back? I mean,
true.
I ain't going out there on no plane and going to get him.
Nope.
Adam Pearce ain't flying nowhere to go get the belt.
Paul Heyman might be the only person that can go out there.
Yeah, but hell, he's working with Brock. He can go supplement the company.
True.
So I mean, hell, then we never see it again, and I like that title, so I don't want it to go away. So there's that problem. Or the other issue is if you put the world title on Braun Breaker, okay, great, I can get down with that. If he beats Brock Lesnar as world champion, well, hell, he's unbeatable. At this point, nobody not named Roman Reigns should be beating him. And Roman ain't nowhere in the mix for the world title at all. Nope. So that means Braun Breaker's going on the 1,316-day title chase. Because, I mean, if you beat Brock Lesnar for the title, there ain't nowhere to go from there.
No.
That's the Roman effect. That's what happened with Roman. When he beat Brock for his world title, hell, there wasn't really a place to go. I mean...
It's interesting, though, to see where this world heavyweight title is going to wind up.
It is now.
It is now. It wasn't.
It wasn't last week.
It was becoming very sleepy.
Sure is now.
But I will go on record as saying, watching Raw, watching that turn, 2 things happened. First thing that happened, my jaw hit the floor.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting
No,
that.
again, I expected the easy answer, Roman coming. No way in hell was I expecting Braun Breaker to do anything. Well,
nobody expected it. It's amazing that after all these years, they can still get me like that. It's amazing. And that's why I love this sport and I love this entertainment. I love it. The second thing, I could not help but draw parallels to the way that Evolution turned on Randy Orton.
Oh, there's so many parallels.
You can't help but notice.
I saw that in there, but at the time, Randy Orton wasn't the leader of the group, right? He was he was the world champ, but he wasn't the leader of the group. I liken it more to what happened with Edge and the Judgment Day. Because I feel like the way the Judgment Day took control of the, because Edge was the quote unquote leader.
Right.
And those guys, ever since they broke away with it, they've never had a leader. They've been equals in that team.
Right.
They've all had world title matches. They've all had singles championship. They've done the tag thing. So I feel like this is more akin to that because, hey, they just got rid of the quote-unquote leader that was holding them down, that was riding on their backs to the glory land. They got rid of him, and now you got two guys who are basically equals who can go out there and do whatever they want in the wrestling ring now. So I liken it more to that just in that respect. But I do think they got to do more than just the two bronze, right? I feel like something's got to be inserted in there somewhere.
And you went into my segue perfectly because here's what I want to see as a wrestling fan. Maybe a little of nostalgia, maybe because the vision does not fit this group now since Seth is gone.
Yeah, because he's the visionary.
He's the visionary.
He's the revolutionary.
He's Seth freaking Rollins.
Yes.
Yeah. I want Paul to bring back the old Dangerous Alliance moniker. That's what I want.
So Dangerous Alliance never had a true leader. They were all a bunch of guys that were, quote unquote mid-guard guys waiting to break through. And then when they got tied in the Dangerous Alliance, guys started finding their way through. That's where Stunning Steve actually learned how to be his own character and not just half of the Hollywood blondes. That's where Rick Rude got to cultivate his career. He was always a singles guy, but he was never the guy. But when he got to the Dangerous Alliance, he became the guy, actually, and it was great to see. I mean, a lot of guys came through there and learned how to come out of their shell, and I think that'll be perfect for these two guys. And I could give you a handful of names that I could see get added into that group that could do the same thing.
Absolutely. So, WWE, Hunter, Paul, if you want some great merchandise sales, put that group together, call them Dangerous Alliance, put a t-shirt. I will have one on my doorstep with express shipping.
Yeah.
It will happen.
No, I'm really interested. Like I said, there's a handful of guys, especially now with NXT and kind of the predictions that I've been making for the last month about some NXT call-ups. Hey, break glass in emergency. NXT's there. You got at least two guys that I know of right off the top of my head that really need something new because they just ended, pretty much their TNA career or their TNA NXT / career.
Trick Williams and Obafemi.
Absolutely. Both of those guys just finished up basically what they were doing in NXT TNA, right?
Yep.
They finished that. There's nowhere for them to go but up. So how about a call up? How about adding a couple guys to the vision that actually look the part, right? Two guys that can get in there. They're big badasses that can do what they need to do in the ring, and they're ready. Why not bring them up and let them get under that Paul Heyman, Paul E. Dangerously learning tree and cultivate a whole group right now. I'm down with that on that one there. Give me 6, 7, 8 of them.
All right, so we talked about the domino that fell because of the Rollins effect. What other dominoes are going to fall?
I can't wait till next week's show now.
You never know what's going to happen now.
We're reinvigorated again now.
So drop us a line on our social media platforms. Tell us what you think's about to happen. And with everything we do, thank you for listening to our show. We appreciate you, and we bid you adieu.
Peace. I'm interested to see about
today's podcast was produced by SBP. You can find our podcast on all major podcast platforms. Also, connect with us on our social media accounts. Search for The Bookers Alliance on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X.